Perfect. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, my guest today is broadcasting live all the way from Tecate, Mexico, where he has the only vegan restaurant in Tecate. It is called Verdes Vida. His name is Emmanuel Alarcon, and he's going to be demonstrating a delicious Baja Beet Ceviche. Please welcome him to the show. It's so nice to see you again.
So excited to be here. I'm pretty nervous, Chef AJ. I'm a musician. I get to play in front of many people, but this is more nerve-wracking, actually.
Oh, really? Well, don't be. Because you are a natural performer. So, guys, I met Emmanuel in Mexico. I have the privilege of presenting at Rancho La Puerta, the #1 world-class spa in the whole world. I've been going there for 12 years, anywhere from 1 to 4 times a year. And if you're interested in going, please contact, at least if you're interested in going when I'm there as part of my group, contact me at help@chefaj.com. We have a group that is already sold out for July that has a waiting list and another one in August. It's amazing. And Emmanuel used to work there, and he also used to be in the band, but then he opened up this vegan restaurant, and I didn't even know about it because I'm at the ranch. I'm not going out to eat, but as I was crossing the border, walking across the border, I'm like, what is this? And then, I was with Francisco. He says, oh, that's a vegan restaurant. I go, there's a vegan restaurant here? Who knew? So I went there. I did a little short live with him. And I said, you've got to come on the show and make something. So that's how this transpired. So yeah, you got to tell us the story about how and when and why you opened a vegan restaurant in Tecate.
Oh, my gosh. I started getting, so I'm a musician. No, that's been the thing that I've done the most of my life. And well, I was on the road a lot. I was on the road for 10 years with a band from San Diego called B-Side Players. So, just being on the road and just eating very wrong and staying up late will take a toll on your body. So it got to the point where I needed to do something about it. You know what my thing was? I actually developed like gallstones, So I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me, you know what? Well, we're gonna have to take your gallbladder out. I'm like, well, I got to go on the road in a week, so I don't think that's going to be an option. So he said, all right, well, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. And I'm like, okay. So I started taking care of myself then. And then I just started doing research on my own. I started seeing that apple cider vinegar really helps you out. So I just always carried my snacks with me. So I couldn't really eat all that junk food that I was eating now, because I didn't want to get sick or anything. So I started trying out vegan options, vegetarian options. I just started with that, and it was just like mind blowing because it was all these, just amazing food that I was trying out. And I'm like, okay, so you don't really have to be like a vegan or a vegetarian to enjoy this food, So that was kind of like what impacted me the most. So I really got excited. And when I came back from that tour, I dropped 30 pounds on that tour, actually, just like by taking care of my body and just like going for a run and just all this excess that I had in me. And, my energy levels were through the roof. I was just I was really motivated when I came back. And what really motivated me was, I got to come back and I got to try out I got to figure out how to make hummus and black bean burgers. Those were like my 2 top choices that I used to like always try when I was on the road. So when I got back, I started working on those recipes, and it got to a point where I thought it was pretty good. So every time I would go to a friend's house, I would just take some hummus, like, try this out. And they would just like devour it. And I'm like, well, I know they're my friends, but I don't know if they're that nice to eat something that they wouldn't like, So I started with the hummus thing, and I started selling it here in Tecate because I couldn't find it anywhere. And I just started selling it on my own. And sooner or later, I just started getting calls from Tijuana and just around Tecate, just like people who wanted it in their restaurant. And I was just so amazed by that because I just wanted to like sell it to my friends or whatever, So, well, I'm going to make a batch. So if you want some, let me know. And so that's just how it started. And that's when I really started taking care of my body and just eating healthier. And all these, the vegan kitchen just really amazed me, like all these options that you can make, these replicas. And it's still mind-blowing to me, all the things that people are doing right now, such as all the people that you have and as yourself. So yeah, so I've been doing that for years now. And we started with the project for this restaurant here during the pandemic because the whole music thing died, So everything shut down. So I was like, okay, I got to come up with something else. The hummus thing was helping me out. I started the hummus thing about, I think it was maybe 6 years ago, 2017. So during the pandemic, I started just practicing all these recipes, just stuff that I like to cook for me. I just wanted to perfect most of it. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, I have all these recipes that I think are pretty good. I tested them out with my friends, vegans and non-vegans, and they were pretty much, liking them. So, okay, we just started working from home. This is my home right here. And my restaurant is right around the corner, but this is where we actually started with the whole project. And at the time it was only takeout, so you couldn't really go to anywhere to a restaurant or anything to eat. So we just started doing the whole, delivery and takeout, and that's how we started. We worked from my house, I think, for maybe about 6 months, and then this place opened up, which is right around the corner from my house. And I thought that it'd be a good idea just to get it and just go for it and just start working at it. Because I kind of wanted to get my house back again, because it's more of a kitchen now than my house, So we got to work on the restaurant. It took me a couple of months to fix it up and leave it ready, and we opened up. So it was 2021, and I think we opened up in September. So we've been open since September 2020. We've been pretty much doing it at the restaurant for about 1.5 years now. So we're still a baby. We're still in diapers, but so far so good. We've been getting a lot of people. We get a lot of people from outside of Tecate. Actually, we get a lot of people from Tijuana, San Diego. We're right on the border. Literally, you could just leave your car on the U.S. side and walk across, and you could get here in 5 minutes.
I know, that is what's so cool. You're literally at the border.
Super convenient, super convenient. So we got a lot of people that come down from San Diego, and it's surprising sometimes, because I ask them, are you here like visiting family, and they're like, no, we just came to eat here. So that always like motivates me even more, so got to give them the extra attention.
That is so cool. So the people that are in Tecate, do they come because they're vegan? They want to eat healthy food? I'm just curious.
It's a combination. I mean, sometimes I ask if I feel like, if it's people that I know they're not vegan, so I won't ask them. But sometimes if it's like a person who comes from outside and start talking, I'll ask them if they're vegan or not. So it's like a combination. But I'd say that, a lot of the youth, we got a lot of young people coming in, and they're like getting more hip to it, that they're understanding that vegan food is it's just coming up every year. It's coming up. It's getting bigger and bigger. So that's why I have a lot of faith in it. Because San Diego has so many options. Tijuana, which is our neighbor city, has a lot of options too. But other than that, I mean, it's barely growing now. So I think it's more about talking about the culture. So it's about teaching people that, because a lot of people, they think of vegan food and they just think it's salads or just like, like whatever, like spinach, and but it's just so much more than that. So you have to kind of teach people about the culture, I just think that if you go to a vegan restaurant and give it a chance, you already won. And I think you'll be surprised. Everybody that comes here that is not vegan, when I get these comments, they just say that, well, you know what, I'm not vegan, but this is pretty good. So I love those comments actually from non-vegans that come to eat. And so it's just like teaching them that, and that I just tell them, hey, you know what, you should just try it, like maybe even once a week or a couple times a week or once a day. If you start getting into it, and you'll notice your body will thank you. And I mean, it's just the way to go. So you got to start them off slow, so that's kind of like our purpose is right now, just to get people to try it first and then slowly incorporate it into your life.
Nice. Well, you were exposed to healthy eating working at the ranch, I would imagine, because that's all they pretty much have there.
Exactly. That's where I got to learn about the whole, farm to table experience, and, Tres Estrellas, the gardening, the organics. That's where I was exposed to all this. So that's definitely where it started. And for sure that Rancho played a big part in my life. Yeah, I was there for many years, and I could tell, because like the people who work there, they never age, you know, they're just eating right all the time. And like everybody from the staff there, all the people that I know, they're the same, you know, every time I get to see them once in a while, they're like, look at these people. So it's definitely the food, you can tell, you know, because of course the lifestyle, the exercise also helps, but it's mainly the food, what you're eating, and just like everything, when everything is fresh like that, that's the difference, I think.
What's the most popular item on your menu?
You know what? People go for wraps. I was surprised people were about the falafel wrap is a very popular choice over here. We have another buffalo wrap that we do with with tofu. So we do it with tofu, buffaloes, and what other one do we have? Like the sopes are really popular as well. And we just started these tacos not too long ago with jackfruit. And those are getting pretty popular as well. The fish tacos that we also do with tofu are pretty popular. And yeah, you know, it's just like things that we eat down here that we're accustomed to, but just giving it that vegan twist. So people tend to go for those, you know, dishes.
What are your hours? Are you open every day, just some days?
So we're opening up from Tuesdays to Saturdays right now, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So not too early, not too late. So those are our hours right now. We'll probably extend them in the not so distant future, but for now, that's how we've started with. And you know, a lot of people close down on Tuesdays down here in Tecate'S. So I decided to start my week on Tuesday because a lot of places shut down. So I'm like, okay, so I'm one of the few options actually now in Tecate'S that are open on Tuesday.
That's interesting. Why did they pick Tuesday?
So they can't close on weekend. I mean, on weekends. So most restaurants, their days off are pretty much like during the week. Maybe they tend to go from Monday to Tuesday, or sometimes they close down like Tuesday to Wednesday. So that's how they do it. Yeah. So that's the way. That's the whole complaint. The local complaint over here is everything is closed on Tuesday. So that's why I decided to open up on Tuesday. And Tuesday sometimes turn out really good for us, actually.
That's a great marketing strategy.
Exactly. Exactly.
That is so cool. So ceviche typically is seafood, right?
Yeah, you know, Baja is very, yeah, the whole seafood scene down here in Baja is very big, you know, like the whole ceviche thing, and like the Baja style tacos, fish tacos, this is where it all started. So, you know, all these cuisines around the area, it's like a combination of like Mediterranean, they do like, we call it Baja Med. So it's like a combination of Baja, like the whole seafood thing, and the Mediterranean, the type of food. So that's pretty big over here. So yeah, so I decided to do like my own twist on this. Is actually like I've seen this dish a couple of times in a couple of restaurants where they do this beet ceviche. So okay, so I hadn't tried it. I actually tried it not too long ago because, well, I wanted to do an oil recipe, and it really motivated me. So you motivated me, AJ's, to try this oil-free recipe, because we do a lot of stuff at the restaurant, but some of them, yeah, do have oil. But this was something that I wanted to try, and it motivated me to start doing like even more, you know, because I just saw that you could do all kinds of different types of dishes without the oil. So
well, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely. So if you want to get into it,
yeah, I'd love to see it. Yep.
Yeah. So the main thing to go for, of course, is the beets. And since I'm a musician, I had to do something with beets, right? Oh, it's bad.
I get it. Clever.
I got bad jokes all day, AJ.
That's okay.
So we got these here. We got two like regular size. This one's a little smaller. So what you want to do is this is pretty much like simulating like maybe what it would be like for a tuna or something. I don't know. So just cut them up into little squares. This recipe is super easy, super fast, and it's pretty delicious. Would it be considered like a raw?
If your beet's not cooked, it's raw, but if it's cooked, it's cooked. But it's still very healthy. Yeah.
That's right. We have to boil it to soften it up, you know? So yeah, so what the thing is, so beets are pretty, like, they come out pretty sweet. So in order to take a little bit of the sweetness, you got to marinate it. We got to marinate it with citrus, you know, you got a lot of lemon juice. So
I've seen people do ceviche out of cauliflower, but it's very unique doing it out of beets.
yes, exactly. I've seen a lot of cauliflower as well. But yeah, like the beets give it like it has such an earthy taste, you know. It's just so it just combining it with all these other veggies, just like just a little party in your mouth, really. But I guess why people do it with beets down here, or where I've seen it, is I guess they're trying to simulate if it was like some sort of tuna or some sort of fish, you know. So that's the whole thing. That's where I got the idea. That's what I think, at least. So basically, when you're done like cutting these up in little squares, so you got to let it marinate for a while to get that little bit of the sweetness, you know, take it away, neutralize it as much as you can. These are pretty earthy, you know, so you're not gonna be able to take away all the, you know, earthiness and sweetness. But when you do have them like that, so I got about the juice about 5 limes here. These guys, because in Mexico we call these limones, but
Yeah, they're so small in Mexico. Like how come they're so tiny?
I don't know. Sometimes you get a little bigger ones, but this is like the traditional Mexican limon. So I think in English, these are limes, right? Are these limes?
Yeah, we call them when they're green, they're limes. When they're yellow, they're lemons.
So it's the other way around here. We call it like the what we call them in the U.S. the lemons is the yellow ones. We call them over here limes. So it's so I always get those two confused. But yeah, so we want these guys. So you want to pour in the juice and just let it sit there. And so this is where you add your spices too. Well, what I did to give it that fishiness is we shredded up these nori sheets for sushi.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all shredded up here. I pretty much just give it like a teaspoon to give it that fishiness. And this is where we'll add our other spices. So I'm using some liquid aminos, some Brags, while seeing these. I'm not getting sponsored or anything by these guys. So you know.
How easy or hard is it to get those types of products in Mexico?
They're coming up. They're coming up. Like the bigger stores are starting to carry them. I've seen they have like the apple cider vinegar as well at some of the bigger stores. But some especially like vegan like ingredients, some they're pretty hard to come by. Like I had a friend actually like yesterday asking me like, where can I buy some agar? I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. I told her definitely not here. It's even tough to get it in San Diego. You gotta go to like these Chinese places, you know, like where they have like foods from all over the world to actually like find some stuff. So if it's hard in San Diego, it's gonna be definitely harder over here to get them.
Yeah.
But it's starting like, especially like, you know, Bragg's is a lot of stuff. So these guys are pretty popular. They're I guess they're blowing up, you know. So some of these stuff are pretty easier to find than others, but so you want to get some vinos in there, and I got some umami as well, which I just bought. I'd never used it actually. I just bought it for this recipe, and it's pretty good. I've never tried it before, and I'm really digging it. So for the liquid aminos, 1 teaspoon, and for this is a teaspoon as well. I gotta look at my own recipe because I just did this, so I was refreshing my memory. Oh, and I did some. So let's see what it is. So I put some mushroom seasoning as well. I forgot which brand it is, but you know, those are pretty easier to find. So the mushroom seasoning is about a teaspoon, and then half a teaspoon of black pepper. So I just put it on there. And I just mix it up and then put it in the fridge and just let it simmer there for a while, you know. And while that stays in the fridge, I start chopping up the veggies. So this recipe could take maybe like 30 minutes to do, or you know, it's pretty simple. But this is yeah, it's the more it marinates, the more the flavors it'll get, and more fish in it too, nori. So yeah, so just put this in the fridge while we do the rest of the stuff.
How do you think, how many, are there vegans in Tecate?
It's slow. I'm starting to see more, definitely, because they're coming by the restaurant, and it's starting to grow. It's gradually, it's slowly but steady. It's slow but steady, that's for sure. And I'm seeing a lot of young people too get into it, so that's what kind of impresses me the most, that they're more open about it, you know.
Well,
But,
also, yeah, because the environment, a lot of, I see a lot of the young people doing it really for the environment, even maybe more than for the animals.
Yes, exactly, yeah. I mean, everybody's got their own reasons to do it, but just as long as you try it out and start doing it, that's what we want to tell people, you know, just to give it a shot. That's what we give vegan a chance, you know. So for my veggies, this is a key thing, the jicama. You know what this is, right?
Yeah, jicama. Isn't it also called the Mexican potato?
Yeah, maybe you guys refer to it that, we just call it jicama, but it's so good. I mean, so I just decided to put this just to give it that crunch, you know, because the beets are pretty soft, you know, once you boil them. But yeah, the jicama.
At the ranch, they make fries out of it. They put like lemon juice or lime juice, and they put like some chili powder.
Exactly. It's always been like a go-to snack over here for Mexicans, is jicama with salt and, you know, like some sort of chile or whatever, and they just devour that. They also do that with cucumbers too. But yeah, jicama is so fresh. And I just put about maybe 2 or 3 slices in there. It just depends. I mean, the more veggies you want to put in there, I mean, you know, it's better. So I try to chop these like super fine. So I don't want like maybe like 2 like chunks, big chunks of it. But yes, jicama is a key for this dish for sure. And our other veggies include cucumber, serranos, which is these guys right here. They're pretty spicy, so maybe you can start off with 1. I put 2 in there because I'm, you know, Mexican. So.
Which type of pepper? Which type of pepper are you using?
Oh, this is called a serrano pepper.
Is a serrano hotter than a jalapeno in general?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
So could you, because this is where I mess up in I make my own like tomatilla salsa, and my husband always says everything's too spicy. Can you kind of give us the rundown of the Mexican peppers, chili peppers, which are the least spicy to the most spicy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the jalapenos are pretty much like the least spicier. Well, the poblano peppers is the one like where you do like chile rellenos and all those. Those are never spicy. Those
they're more like a green pepper. They don't seem spicy at all.
Exactly. And I think what would come next after the poblano maybe would be like the California pepper, which is a longer one. It looks similar to the poblano, but that one has a little bit of a spice. Then after that, I think the jalapeno would be it. The jalapenos are weird because, well, when I started selling my hummus, I would know that I would do like a cilantro jalapeno hummus, and sometimes those jalapenos would come out pretty strong. You know, they would come out pretty fire. So those sometimes come out pretty spicy. So after the jalapenos, I think that it would be this guy, the serrano, which is definitely like, it should be spicy. Sometimes there's duds in there, but most of the time this is going to be pretty spicy. But you know what? When I tried the recipe earlier this week, I tried it with 1 serrano, and I don't know if it's the beet or whatever, but it just kind of like died it down. So that's why I decided to put in another one. I don't know. I have no explanation for it, but because when I was chopping it smelled spicy, you know. So I was like, okay, it was a pretty spicy one. But then when I mixed it all together, I didn't get spicy. I'm thinking it was probably the beets what did it. So yeah, so if you want, you can start off with 1 serrano and maybe go from there.
Does it help if you take the seeds out to make it less spicy?
I didn't do it for this because I'm all about the spiciness. So it just depends on your spiciness level, how much you want it. So I just decided to put the spices in here because I'm like that. I'm all about the spices.
You're a spicy guy, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta admit. So then, I mean, habaneros and all that. A lot of people put habaneros on their ceviches down here too, but that's
And
not,
habaneros are much spicier than serrano,
oh yeah,
right?
yeah, those are always gonna be like,
Have you ever heard of the ghost pepper?
I have. I think that's more of a US thing, right? Just like, because I don't think I've seen them down here. I think like I've seen all these shows where just people, you know, trying out like different types of hot sauces now and just seeing how much you can take. So I personally haven't tried the ghost pepper. I don't know if I want to either, but yeah, I haven't tried it, so I can't really give you like a good feedback on it. But yeah, I hear it's pretty dangerous stuff. I don't know.
Sounds really hot.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So for the cucumber, I put in half a cucumber in here, and for this, I will take the seeds off, and I guess we could take the sides off, peel the sides off as well. And oh, my dogs came out. I'm in a room and they just came out.
That's okay. We love dogs.
I hope to behave. Yeah. Yeah. So for the cucumber, you peel this off, just pretty much like cut it in half. And then with a little spoon, I just get the seeds out just a little bit, so it's not all that seedy.
Are you familiar? I'm sure if you worked at Rancho all those years, you know how like they have the salsa bars at almost every meal?
Right. Uh-huh.
You know the brown one, I think it's called pasilla salsa.
Oh yeah, pasilla. Pasilla is also like it's really not that spicy. I think it's more of a sweet kind of chile. I think they use it for mole, actually.
It's so good. Do you know how to make that?
Oh, I don't. Mole, you know, I really didn't get into it as a kid, you know. I mean, it's just like it's either like you love it or you don't want to have anything to do with mole, with the people I've seen. So but some people make it a little spicy, and I think that's when I've tried mole when I kind of like it. It's when they make it a little spicy. But I'm not much of a sweet tooth. That's the thing. So maybe that's because maybe that's my thing. That's why I never got used that much into mole. But I've tried a couple of them, which are really good. But it's not really like my go-to. But I know people that love mole and they eat it very frequently, but it's really not my cup of tea. I'm not that much of a sweet tooth.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. You know, Chef Raina gave me the exact recipe and I still couldn't make it. It just did not come out good when I made it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could give this recipe to a lot of people, but I don't know if we're gonna make it exactly. Just like my hummus recipe when I started making it, I think it's funny sometimes that people like don't want to share their recipes, you know, like oh, it's like a big secret, but I don't know. I like sharing my recipes, you know, like yeah, this is how I did it. I try to motivate people, just how I get motivated by people, like people who come on your show and everything.
Do you in general make all your own salsas, either personally or at the restaurant?
Yeah, especially that's when I like during the pandemic. That's what I practiced the most. Is like making everything fresh. And then at the restaurant, yeah, that's why sometimes our food takes a little longer to make because everything we're doing like from scratch, you know. So we don't have like things that are already like ready. So yeah, so we basically just make everything from scratch. So one of the salsas that we make, we use 3 chiles. We use pasilla, the one that you mentioned. We use the chile de árbol, which is translated literally, it's like chile from tree, which is it's like the red peppers, you know, I don't know if I have them here, but
And what about arbol? ARBOL. I've heard of it.
Árbol is tree. So it's like, let me see, maybe I do have one. I'll look for it right now. But chile de árbol is one of the other ones. What's the third one? I'm forgetting because we do in Mexico, everybody does like their own salsa macha, which is macha means like, you know, macho, you know. So salsa macha is usually very, very spicy. But, you know, we didn't want to have that big of a spice here down here because the tolerance for some people is not that high. So we want to make like a friendlier type of salsa macha. And so we decided to use 3 different types of chile, which is pasilla, chile de árbol, and I'm forgetting the other one. I'll get back to you on that one. But
Where were you born?
I was born in San Diego. So I'm a border kid. I grew up on both sides of the border, you know. I was born in San Diego, but I've lived here in Tecate my whole life. So I went to school on both sides of the border. Like kindergarten I did over here, then I started doing my elementary school. So you know when you cross the border, there's like a super small town, right? Which is also called Tecate, California. That's where I get that's where my PO box is at and all that, my address. So right across the border is a school where I went to, and it's called Tecate Mission, and I went there for 6 years. And that's where I learned my English, you know. Well, I learned it off cartoons as well, but that's where I started practicing it, you know. So I went from 2nd grade to, junior high. I did junior high there. And then I came back to Mexico. And so junior high down here is 3 years. Over the US, it's 2 years. And I did high school over here. Oh, there we go, of course. And then I went to college in the US. I went here at Southwestern College here at Chula Vista. So I've been always like a hybrid, you know, on both sides of the border, just doing it. So it's, I couldn't, that when they ask me like, oh, where were you born? So that's what I tell them. Yeah, I'm a hybrid. I'm just like, I'm from both sides of the border.
That's funny. There's a question from a live viewer named Daria. Like, how do you know how to buy the freshest beets? When you buy your beets, do they still have the greens attached to the end?
You know, that's a good question. Yeah, you always have the greens, but I guess I mostly sometimes just go for sizes, you know, it just depends on what I want to do. But you know, because beets are always, they're pretty tough because they're always like, you know, they just come off the ground. That's why they're so earthy, you know. So they're pretty, they last a long time. So I don't think you're gonna get like a wrong beet feeling. I mean, it's just like when you're looking for any other vegetables, you know, you got to feel them out, touch them. That's all we do over here. We just touch them, how to see how they feel. And okay, yeah, this one feels good to me. So go by feeling, I guess. That's what I would recommend. Because if you go by visual, sometimes they don't look that pretty, you know. But yeah, I guess that's how I go about it with beets. Sometimes they sell them packaged, you know, but I just recommend just buying. Get the good stuff. If you can get some organic stuff, it's even better. So yeah, that's what I recommend. So basically, what we're doing here is just making like a sort of like a pico de gallo sauce with the red onions, with the cucumber, with the jicama, and then for my dish here, I used cherry tomatoes. Just look, you know, they're cuter. They look better on the plate when you serve them. So I just cut these in slices too. But you can use regular tomatoes as well. It doesn't really matter. Ceviches down here are used with mostly like regular tomatoes. So you just choose whichever you want. These are just little fancier. And I just had them right here, so gotta use them. So I used about 8 cherry tomatoes. I think the serving is maybe for 2 people or so. So it's perfect. Or if you eat a lot like me, it could just be for 1 person.
Do you exercise a lot?
I'm starting to. I used to run a lot back in the day, a couple of years ago, but like the whole pandemic thing threw me off because you couldn't really go anywhere, and it was just like it was tough times during the pandemic. But thankfully, I got inspired to start practicing all these vegan, you know, options, and started that project. So, but yeah, I used to run a lot. I'm starting to actually, like, I really started off the year motivated. You know, when you open, you should know this, like, because when I opened up the restaurant, I started, like, I really didn't eat at the restaurant, you know, because you're working with food all day and just nibbling that food here and there. So you're not hungry, but then you notice that, like, oh, wait a minute, I don't think I've actually eaten, like sat down to have a meal, you know? So that really threw me off because I've been like eating very good all these years, but when the whole pandemic thing, and then when I started with the restaurant, that just kind of like unbalanced me a lot. So these last couple of years where I've just been working at the restaurant, I really, went off track, but I just made a commitment this year that I was that I would eat more here, because I started eating out a lot, so that wasn't good. So, but this year, these 2 months, first 2 months of the year, I've been eating a lot here at home, and I've been I started slowly like going on hikes and then walking my dogs, because I'm so used to when I used to go to the track, was to run at the track. So every time I would go to the track, I would try to run like I used to, but then I would just like get injured or something, and it would just turn out bad because I hadn't done it in a while. So I just decided to start off really slow for this time, and I just went to the track like last week, and I felt really good. I'm like, oh man, if you forget how much you need it, it's just like another high, I missed it so much. So I'm starting to get back on that horse. But what I'm most proud of right now is that like most of the meals that I've had since I started the year have been here at my house, and just eating a lot fresher. Just eating at your house is what you need to do. So I really haven't eaten out much. And you know what? Since the year started, I've dropped 15 pounds. So that's been working out great for me. And just my energy level is back up, and I'm fitting into my old clothes now because, it was just, I just really got off track the last couple of years. It's pretty stressful sometimes. This whole restaurant thing I'm barely learning the ways, so it's not like anybody is teaching me how to do it or anything, but I'm learning, slowly learning. And, I'm starting to try to balance everything out, but it definitely starts at home and with what you put into your body. I'm very aware of that. So I'm on a good track. I'm on the good track right now. So I want to keep it that way. So you sometimes forget, how much of a difference like eating right will make you feel, and just everything starts flowing, so you start taking care of yourself like that. So
absolutely. Are you still performing as a musician?
I started to do it again. Yeah, I've been playing a lot in San Diego, and because when the whole pandemic thing, the whole music thing died. So when they used to close the border here like around 2 p.m. So, and it was good for me, like, because I hadn't taken a break in so many years. I had just been doing it for so many years straight. Where when the pandemic hit, I really I just hung up the guitar for a while, and I'm like, okay, I didn't play it for like months, because I guess I didn't realize that I needed that break, and so last year when everything started getting back up, and the whole music thing started going again, so I started getting the knack for it again. So I called out my friends from San Diego and just told them that, you know what, if you guys need me for anything, I'm available again. But I definitely need that break from it. But you start missing it again, it's just part of my life. It's what I've done most of my life. So I started last year playing again, and this year has been way more busy. So I'm really stoked about that too, because that's also like, it's very important to me, like the whole music thing, and getting inspired, and traveling. Traveling was a big part of us, because this band has been going since 1994. So it's a touring band, 100%. Except for the last couple of years, everything was shut down. So this whole traveling thing for me is very important, because I get to meet all kinds of nice people and try out different. That's where I got motivated, just to start eating healthier and all these beautiful vegan options. So. Yeah, I can't get away from music even if I wanted to. Really, I couldn't.
People are asking if you can push the camera must have got bumped because they can't see your food anymore. Okay. And there is a question about from Stephanie. What do you serve the ceviche with?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? Like, it kind of like.
Oh yeah. So Stephanie wants to know, what do you serve the ceviche with?
Oh, well, mostly ceviche over here is you have it with tostadas, but you know what? I went to Trader Joe's and I got these blue corn tortilla chips, organic. They're pretty good. So mostly it's tostadas or just any kind of chips. That's how. But I would definitely go with just regular tostadas. I buy some over here that are baked, so they're healthier. And with just any type of tostada, you can just serve it up, and yeah, they'll eat that up fast, sure. So I got all my veggies here, which is sort of like, just maybe like the pico de gallo with the cucumber, with the jicama, cherry tomatoes, and one serrano for now, because I'll try it out. So I'm just gonna pour everything in here while the beets are still marinating. And with this, I just add like half a lemon to it because the beets already have like a lot of lemon into it, but still, when you make your pico de gallo, it's always good to have a dash to it, And just like the whole, if you want, I mean, it's up to the viewer really if you want to add like more salt or less salt or just whatever. I always leave that to the viewer, but yes, for the veggies, you want to give it just a little.
What do you play, and what part of the band are you?
What part of, oh, I'm the guitar player. Yes, lead guitar. I've been playing guitar since I was a kid. And so I started the band at Rancho La Puerta when I was about 21 years old. So it was just an amazing experience getting to play in front of all these guests. Every Friday, we would do it every Friday. And they're still going. The band's smaller now, but yeah, it was I have very good memories, very fond memories of the ranch too. And but yes, I started so the guitar player with the band from San Diego, and yeah, guitar has been my main tool. Now it's this.
Do you sing as well?
Yeah, I mean, I had to because I used to have a gig at a casino over here in San Diego, and sometimes our singer couldn't make it. And he was our singer / drummer, so sometimes he had other commitments. But since it was my gig, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to do it, So I kind of forcefully started doing it, but then I realized that, you know what? I mean, doing the job, and I think it sounds pretty good. It sounds good enough for me. I'm my own worst critic always, I know I can always get better. So but yeah, I had to start doing it because of a necessity really. And but yeah, I guess everybody sings, right, AJ?
Yeah, but not well.
Yeah, that's up to everybody else, but I mean, I could do it. I could get away with it. There's always room for improvement for sure.
Stephanie wants to know, where did you find the umami sauce that you added to the ceviche?
You know what? They gave it to me. A friend of mine from Tijuana gave it to me the other day. So we bought this in Mexico. This is called Yondi vegetable umami. I don't know. It says it's gluten-free. You can see it right there. Yeah, vegetable umami. Yondu is a brand. Pretty good. Organic, vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO. That's what it says here. I'm not getting sponsored or anything, but yeah, this is the one I got. But so this was gifted to me, so I couldn't really tell you where they bought it. But I mean, I'm sure in the US there's probably more options for umami than we have.
That's so cool. So it's not from the United States, the product.
No, we bought this over here. Yeah, well, a friend of mine bought it for me. She bought two, and she's like, oh yeah, because I cook for my friend a lot, so she gave me that, so I could probably cook some more for her. But yeah, I just started using it. That's the first time I've actually used umami, because I've seen it in a bunch of vegan recipes, like, oh, umami, but I never had it on me, and I always forgot to buy it. So yeah, it's turned out pretty good. When I just tasted it by itself, it's pretty good.
Does it taste kind of like soy sauce?
Like soy sauce, exactly. Lighter soy sauce for sure.
What's the name of the company? Because I just saw something on Amazon called Yondu vegetable umami.
Which one?
Yondu. Yondu, YONDU.
Yeah, YONDU, exactly.
So that's what it is, huh?
Yeah, I've never seen it before either.
It's on Amazon and it says it's like a substitute for fish sauce or soy sauce or bouillon. Very cool.
Goes perfect with this. I actually use soy sauce too, but that's gonna be like an option for the viewer if you want to put it or not with the marinade for the beets. So yeah, I got all my veggies here. I had forgot to put the cilantro. Cilantro is very important too. I think I'm gonna put in some more. And I guess the beets have been there for maybe 20 minutes. So it's good enough. Maybe 30 minutes should be good. And yeah, so we got this ready. So by the time you mix everything up, juices that the beets have and the veggies.
Oh, hey, I looked the product up. It's vegan, it's gluten-free.
Yep.
Yeah, it's made from soybeans and vegetable stock, onions, radish, leek, cabbage, carrots, shiitake, ginger, garlic. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love learning about new products.
Exactly. Yeah, this is new for me too as well. So yeah.
Yum. How long will that keep in your refrigerator once you make it?
The ceviche?
Yeah.
You know what? I tried it the other day. I left because I made a batch. Then I had some that day. The next day I tried it again. It was still great. And then I left a little bit more. I just said, no, I left like a little bit for the next day and it was still good. So I can tell you that it'll be good for 3 days at least, because that's how I tried it. I made that one day, tried the next day, and then tried the day after that, and it was still good. But I mean, you should probably eat it once you make it. I'm sure you guys, if you share it with somebody, you'll probably end up finishing it right there.
Who came up with the name of your restaurant?
I did. It's like a saying down here, Verdes, Vida, which I guess has different kinds of meanings for it. But since it's a phrase that I'd heard before, I thought it was just like a funny phrase, and it was just like a catchy phrase that I thought Verdes Vida, because it can mean so many things. Green is life. So it can mean, well, I take it as greens like vegetables is life, but other people can give it like their own interpretation, whatever green is for you. But that's how I took it, Verde and Vida, which is like, yeah, plants are life,
Right, because it doesn't say vegan in the title. So maybe do people ever come in and not know it's a vegan restaurant?
Once in a while, but yeah, we have like a sign that says vegan kitchen. So, but I know a lot of people don't read because sometimes we get like calls when they're trying to order some food and they're like, oh yeah, can I get like a chicken wrap or something? Like, well, I don't know if you looked at the menu, but we're like a vegan restaurant. So you don't have anything with chicken in it? And I'm like, no, we don't have anything with chicken. So some people read, but a lot of people don't. So
do they still give it a chance?
Yeah, a lot of people do. Like when they're, especially people that just go there to the restaurant, they're like, oh, okay, so they'll just be like, well, so what do you recommend? And then I just start like, so if you like sopes, like sopes, we do these sopes are also one of our more popular items on the menu. We do like a chorizo, but with mushrooms. But we do the sauce ourselves. So it's sort of like a chorizo. It's not soy chorizo, but we make it with mushrooms. And so we make those sopes. We put like black beans on the sope. We put the chorizo. We put some lettuce on it. We also make our own. We make our own cheese with chickpeas. So it's sort of like a queso fresco, but you add it on top of the sopes, and it's just amazing. I thought about doing the chickpea cheese maybe for a different occasion. We can do that, but yeah, the sopes are one of the more popular items as well that we also recommend, because it's just like sopes. You tried sopes, right? Everybody likes sopes. Yeah, everybody likes sopes, tacos. Just try to make these our customers, get into it. Like,
Are you the chef at the restaurant as well?
What's that?
Are you the chef at the restaurant as well?
I for starters, I consider myself a chef. I'm more a cook, really. But no, I mean, I started work when we were working here at the house. Yes, me and my friend Saul, he's more the chef than I am. He's been here since the beginning with me, and we started. I practiced these recipes to start with, and then we started working together to develop more recipes, and then he gave it his own twist to the recipes that I have, and so it's been like a teamwork kind of deal. So yeah, so we were at my house here. I was working in the kitchen as well. And when I started the restaurant, they took over. But then I'm still there once in a while, you know, when somebody doesn't come to work or something, or somebody's on vacation, I'll get in there. I mean, I don't. This is mine, so I don't get scared to use this.
How have the reviews of Happy Cow been?
Pretty good. You know, we Happy Cow, like a lot of people don't know it down here in Mexico. I think it's more popular definitely in the US. Thank you for your review for sure. And you know what, but a lot of people are leaving reviews on Google Maps. I've been tripping out on that because I was surprised how many people actually look up restaurants with Google, you know, just Google Maps, like vegan food or whatever they're looking for. And yeah, we have great review. I think out of 5 stars, we're doing like 4.9 right now. So that's pretty good right now. I don't know who left the 4 stars there, but out of all we have all been 5 stars. But yeah, that's awesome. We just got one like yesterday, a couple of days ago, and yeah, just great reviews. That really motivates us, you know, that doing something good. So and then on Facebook, once in a while, people leave comments as well. All of our reviews are actually pretty good. So I'm pretty thankful, because sometimes, you know, you get to, you know, there's certain customers or people out there who are just looking for trouble too, and they'll just leave like an awful review because that's what they do, you know. There's people who like that for sure. So I'm always like trying to, even like when we get like a customer who wasn't really satisfied with something. I've had maybe this happen to me like twice. When they'll be like, well, your order said that the sopes had this, but it didn't have it, and this. So, you know, working at the ranch, customer service is like a big deal over there. So that's my school of how to treat people, you know, with customer service. And I really try to go all out and just like apologize. And you know what, if you give us another chance, come down, it'll be our treat. Just to let people know that, okay, if we messed up, we're sorry. But if you come again, we'll make it worth your while. And then usually when you treat people nice that way, they'll back off too, and they'll be like, you know what, it was actually pretty good. Well, I was just expecting this, but you know what, you guys are great. And then they'll tone it down for sure. So it's always like, you know, how you talk to people and how you respond to them. But yeah, the ranch school for customer service really really helped me out for sure.
Nice. Susanna wants to know, what do you eat when you're not at the restaurant, and let's say you're traveling with the band?
Well, I haven't traveled with the band in a while. I might travel with them in August. There's like a month-long tour that they're inviting me to, which I would actually love to do, because we're going up to like the Rockies, you know, Idaho and New Mexico, not New Mexico, but you know, Wyoming, Montana. It's beautiful places that I enjoy going. But you know what? Lately, I've been doing at my house here, I've been eating a lot of pasta too, getting into it. I've been doing this sort of like, I guess it'd be like called like a ground meat type of stuff, but with cauliflower and almonds, and you know, that's been one of my go-tos a lot. For breakfast, I'm tofu scrambled kind of guy for sure. I always do that. It's a nice sourdough bread, and oh yeah. Well, the jackfruit also as well has been like go-to lately. I've really enjoyed. We just did also tacos de carnitas, which are made from jackfruit at the restaurant. But we also did like a sort of like a, you know, pulled pork sort of deal, but with the jackfruit, so barbecue. So that's at the restaurant. That's been moving a lot. But yeah, me at my house, I've been doing a lot of pastas lately. And just eating a lot of raw vegetables too, just different types of salads. And yeah, that's been working out, because I really don't don't care. I might eat the same thing for 2 days. You know? If I have some leftovers, I'll just eat the same thing. And yeah, I'm just as long as I cooked it, I know it's good. I know it's fresh. So I just want to, stay away from eating out as much as I can right now. So yeah, that's what.
I make what's it called? Like a chorizo out of cauliflower and mushrooms. It's really good.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds great.
Yeah. Well, I wish you every success with the restaurant. I hope people, like I say, if they live in San Diego, especially, or traveling, it's just a quick, like 2 seconds to walk across the border. I don't think people realize that as long as you're not driving a car, it's very easy to cross the border. It's only with the car that it's hard.
Exactly. And there's all kinds of parking spots over here, like on the US side. You can just leave your car there, super safe, just walk around, and we're literally like 5 minutes walking distance.
Yes, I've left it all week, just parked there, on the US side, because I just don't want to drive it into Mexico.
Yeah, and then we've been getting a lot of calls from Rancho La Puerta, like from staff. Like a lot of people are barely like finding out there's actually like a vegan option in Tecate, So lately I've been doing deliveries to the ranch, and it's somebody from staff, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell all these guys." So that's kind of cool. It's been working out that way.
That is so cool. Do you have any specials ever on the menu?
Yeah, we actually started a soup and sandwich deal, which is more of an American kind of thing. It's not very popular like a soup and sandwich over here, but that's was one of my go-tos always when I was on the road, with soup and sandwich. So we do like a tomato soup, and our sandwich that we do like a grilled cheese. So we make our own type of cheese, sort of like a mozzarella kind of deal. We do it with cashews. So we do the soup and sandwich combo, which is a very popular one, especially right now during the winter, because it's so cold and everybody just wants like something hot, like a nice hot little soup. So yeah, that combo has been very popular. We started it last year. We just did it for the winter. But then people started like asking for it a lot. So, hey, what happened? What happened to the soup and sandwich combo? So we started again this year. Well, we started, I think, in December last year, and I think we're just gonna keep it always on the menu, because that's always like a go-to. It's super fast and easy. Just yeah.
Oh, Stephanie wants to know if you're going to take it from the blue bowl and put it in a white bowl for serving.
Oh, I know. I need better bowls. I'll put it like when it's ready on this white bowl. I'm just gonna mix everything here. I know, I'm sorry, Steph, but I got my beets right here. They smell great. So I'm just gonna mix them up. I think they've been there for maybe 20, 25 minutes or so. So just mix everything now. Yum. I'll mix everything there and then put it on this white. So just when you mix everything, you just like when you taste it, you can it'll be your call if you want to add some more, maybe some sea salt or maybe a little bit more pepper. Or in my case, that's where I added the other serrano because I wanted some more spice to it. But yeah, everything smells great right now.
Maybe you'll put it on the menu.
Yes, I think so. I think springtime's around the corner. I mean, as soon as the weather changes, this is going to be definitely like a good go-to, and advertise it as an oil-free. Chef AJ's favorite.
Chef AJ's ceviche.
Choice.
That's great.
So I'm just going to try and see where it's at as far as citrus-wise. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, and actually the serrano came out pretty hot, so I'm just gonna leave it at 1.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're so little, but they can be really hot.
Yeah, exactly. I might add like a little pinch of salt just at the end, just some sea salt, and then just mix it up. And at the very end is when you'll add the sesame seeds. That just gives it like a better look. That's what usually like a typical ceviche over here does.
Do you think you'll come out with a veganist Verde cookbook?
Oh, that That would be awesome,
I
actually.
said vegan-es verde. See, that's a Freudian slip, but vegan-es verde. Is vegan the same word?
Well,
in
you're not too
Spanish?
far out because our Instagram page is called Verdes Vida Vegan. So maybe that's why it's okay. Yeah.
Is the word in Spanish for vegan the same as English?
Yeah, vegano. Yep, exactly. So, oh yeah, they're my dogs.
I think he wants some.
Yeah, they want everything. They love veggies. I always give them, well, when I'm doing my thing here. So this is how it comes out. I don't know. Is it visible there? Yeah, right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, right there. So you got all the juices going in the bottom, which we used to. So when you mix everything with the veggies, it just evens out, you know? Because if you try out the beets, just like that with the marinade, it might come out a little strong and citrusy, like a little too much. But when you mix everything up with the veggies, it just evens out, and everything's just beautiful. It's so pink, like the jicama is like pink already, and just those sesame seeds that we are giving a little nice little presentation. And yeah, I just get into it with tostada. I'm not sure if I have tostadas right now, but I do have these blue corn tortilla chips, and you just make your own presentation, you know. But yeah, you get into it, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you won't save some in the fridge, because they'll probably devour that. So yeah, for now, this is how I'm gonna eat it. But usually with a tostada, it'll be a better option.
Nice. Well, thank you. Maybe I'll see you in July when I'm at Rancho.
You know what I forgot? We forgot avocado.
Oh yeah, that's usually in ceviche.
The creaminess, yeah, that's the creaminess. Yeah, I forgot about that. Just having so much fun talking to you, AJ.
Yeah. Do you ever have music at your restaurant?
You know what? I'm glad you bring that up, because that's something I want to start this year as well. I want to expand. There's like a little area for the restaurant to expand, and that's where I want to have the live music. I haven't really talked about that with anybody, but that's like sort of like my secret plan for the summer, is to have like an extension for the restaurant. And that's where I would bring in the music, because that's what I've been doing most of my life, you know. So that's what I know. That's the easy part for me, is bringing the music. And I know all kinds of just great musicians, great friends that would just come down with the experience, and of course get paid. Musicians have to get paid and have a great meal. But yeah, I definitely want to mix the food and music, because I think they just go hand in hand. Yeah, so there we go. I just add an avocado there. That's the creaminess. The avocado just gives it the creaminess. The jicama gives it the crunch. And the beet, you know, it just gives it that little earthy taste. And just, well, I try to take out most of the sweetness out, but it's still present, you know, but it just gives it enough to not make it just like too sweet. But it's just like, yeah, the avocado is a game changer. I don't know how we're forgetting that. But yeah, I'm gonna take this to my mom today. I've been getting my mom on the vegan trip too, and she's slowly starting to like stuff. I bought her. I just bought her, like, what did I get her? Oh, I made some pasta for her the other day, and I'm just buying I'm just taking her like vegan options, you know, like try this vegan cheese or try this vegan meat, or just like, you know, just to get her on the boat, you know. And she's really liked a couple of the stuff that I've taken. She's like, oh, okay, can you get me some more of that? And I'm like, okay. So that's how it starts, you know, just like trying it out. So yeah, I'm gonna take this to my mom today. See if she gives me the okay. So yeah, there we go. And then we have the avocado in there. And
That's beautiful. Elizabeth's asking if she could use water chestnuts, but I don't know if she means instead of the beets or instead of the jicama.
water chestnuts. I don't know if I'm familiar with water chestnuts.
That might not be, it's a canned product that you often find it in Chinese food.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna look it up. That's pretty interesting. I know there's all kinds of neat stuff. Every time I go to the Chinese supermarket.
Oh, she's saying instead of the jicama. Yeah.
Oh.
Don't you like
Oh,
jicama, Elizabeth? And Elizabeth, you live in San Diego. Why don't you just go across the border and go to the restaurant?
For sure, that would be the best option.
Yeah, that would
You
be
know
the
what?
best.
I did another ceviche at some point last year. It was like a private event that they wanted to do at the restaurant, and I tried it with hearts of palm. I think that's what I tried the ceviche with, because it has like that texture that like scallops have, sort of. So I tried a ceviche with hearts of palm. So maybe that would be another go-to. Instead of, if you don't want to use a jicama, maybe you can try hearts of palm just to give it that texture, you know. The hearts of palm, yeah, I forgot about that. You could probably add this too with the jicama. I would just put everything. But
That's
yeah.
a great idea. Well, so great catching up with you again.
No, AJ, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. And
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, we've been wanting to get you on for a while. And I hope, what about artichokes in place of the beets? I think you could use any vegetable you wanted, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just use I guess I use the beets because that's what sort of like a tuna would look like, you know, just like that instead of regular tuna. But turns out it really gives it a nice flavor, just combining the citrus with the sauces and just the spice. It's a nice party going on over here. Yeah, for sure.
Party, it's a party.
That'll be a crowd pleaser for sure. I'm sure they'll devour that.
Anne wants to know, have you ever made jicama tortillas or jicama wraps with a mandolin?
I've had tacos with jicama tortillas, but I don't know how you would cut that. I mean, I guess I got to figure it out. I'll get into it, but I did try one time in San Diego. It was actually an event where I played music, and yeah, they had like these chefs. It was an event between chefs from Baja and chefs from San Diego, and I tried these. Yeah, I guess I forgot what kind of tacos they were, but the tortilla was made from jicama. But I couldn't figure out how they would cut it up like that.
I think just on a really sharp mandolin. They sell those at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. They're fantastic, except they go bad so quickly.
Okay, yeah. Sure, that'd be it. Yeah, that'd be a great option too. Imagine having the ceviche inside that tortilla.
Yeah, that would be fun to pick it up taco style.
Sky's the limit, yes, for sure.
That would be great. Well, thank you so much. I wish you every success with the restaurant. Elizabeth, you're watching on Facebook. That's the problem. Go to YouTube. Everything is there. You Facebook, please go to YouTube. That's the best place to watch, because you don't see the chat on Facebook. All these lovely people making comments, and you don't see the recipe and you don't see the show notes. It's all there.
Yes, I'm all about your show. I'm a subscriber. I keep up with everything.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people on the ranch, on Barry and Manuel and Reina and Deborah and Kathleen and now you.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be part of this, and it takes a special person to pull this off. So kudos to you, AJ. You're doing an awesome thing over here. I'm just glad to be.
Thank you. We want the world to be Verdes and vegan and all that stuff. So great. Nice. Well, hopefully I'll see you in the summer.
Yes. Oh, here's my dog. There she is.
Oh, so cute.
She's ready to eat then too, maybe. Yes, hopefully I'll see you in July, maybe. I think you're coming.
I hope so. I'll be there 1 through 8 with 30 people in our group, and then again in August if more people sign up.
For sure. We'll get in touch for sure. I'm looking
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
You're awesome.
Thank you. You are too. Take care. And thank you, all of you, for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, when my guest is our resident vegan physical therapist, Eileen Kopsoftis. She's going to be talking how to age well with a strong and healthy back. Take care, everyone. Hope you try the recipe. And if you're ever in Tecate or San Diego, please check out the wonderful restaurant.